It was a scorching summer day in sunny Los Angeles. The kind of day where the heat waves dance off the asphalt, and the sun seems to hang in the sky like a relentless spotlight. The city was alive with the hum of air conditioners and the distant sound of beachgoers enjoying the Pacific. I was cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway in my '68 Corvette, a car that had seen more sunsets than most people. The engine purred like a contented cat, and the tires gripped the road with the confidence of a seasoned surfer riding a perfect wave. The wind in my hair felt like freedom itself, a reminder of why I loved this car and this road. Every twist and turn of the highway was a dance, a symphony of motion and speed. The sun on my face was warm, almost too warm, but it was a small price to pay for the joy of the open road. Life was good. Suddenly the engine sputtered, it coughed, a sound that sent a chill down my spine despite the heat. Then, silence. Dead. The car coasted to a stop and I found myself on the side of the road. On the side of the road with nothing but the sound of the waves crashing in the distance and the occasional car whizzing by. My heart dropped faster than a bad punchline on open mic night. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I was stranded. I could practically smell the burnt rubber and hear the cha-chings of a hefty repair bill. The thought of the cost alone was enough to make my wallet weep. Tow truck, mechanic, spare parts, the whole shebang. I could see the dollar signs adding up in my head, each one a nail in the coffin of my weekend plans. For a vintage car enthusiast like me, this was more than just an inconvenience. It was a nightmare in broad daylight. The kind of nightmare that makes you question your life choices. I popped the hood, more out of habit than hope. Engines are like people. They need air, fuel, and a good talking to now and then. But this time, my usual pep talk wasn't doing the trick. Just as I was about to make the dreaded call for a tow, my eyes landed on it. A tiny, unassuming part barely bigger than a bottle cap. Could this be the culprit behind my automotive agony? I picked it up, turning it over in my hands. It was a small piece, but sometimes the smallest things can cause the biggest problems. I had a glimmer of hope, a tiny spark in the vast darkness of my predicament. I examined the engine, looking for where this little part might fit. Engines are complex, but they have a certain logic to them. If I could just figure out where this piece belonged, maybe, just maybe, I could get my Corvette back on the road. I talked to the car as if it could hear me. Come on, old girl, let's figure this out. It was a long shot, but I had to try. I couldn't let my beloved car sit here, broken and defeated. I fiddled with the part, trying to find its home. My frustration grew with each passing minute, but I couldn't give up. Not yet. Not when there was still a chance. Just as I was about to give in and make the call for a tow, I had a breakthrough. The part clicked into place, and I felt a surge of triumph. Could it really be this simple? I turned the key, holding my breath. The engine roared to life, and I let out a whoop of joy. I had done it. My heart soared, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. That tiny part, barely bigger than a bottle cap, had saved the day. It was a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference. With a smile on my face and the wind in my hair once more, I continued my journey down the Pacific Coast Highway, grateful for the little things that keep us going. Now, I'm no mechanic, but I know my way around an engine. Over the years, I've spent countless hours in my garage, tinkering with my collection of classic cars. It's a passion that has taught me a lot about the inner workings of these beautiful machines. Years of tinkering with my collection has taught me a thing or two. Each car has its own personality, its own quirks, and its own set of challenges, but that's what makes it so rewarding. There's nothing quite like the feeling of bringing an old car back to life. And this little part, the condenser, as I later learned, looked about as healthy as a week-old banana. It was clear that this tiny component was the culprit behind my car's recent troubles. But what exactly does a condenser do, and why is it so important? Turns out, this little $8 gizmo was responsible for preventing voltage spikes in my car's ignition system. Without it, the electrical system would be thrown into chaos, causing all sorts of problems. It's amazing how such a small part can have such a big impact. Without it, the whole electrical system was thrown out of whack, leaving me stranded like a bad joke in a writer's room. I remember the frustration of being stuck on the side of the road, wondering what had gone wrong. It was a stark reminder of how important every single component is in a car. A quick trip to the nearest auto parts store, a few minutes under the hood, and voila! The new condenser was installed, and I was ready to see if it would make a difference. I held my breath as I turned the key in the ignition. My Corvette roared back to life, good as new. The engine purred like a contented cat, and I couldn't help but smile. It was a moment of triumph, a reminder of why I love working on cars in the first place. That $8 condenser saved me from what could have easily been a $3,000 repair bill. It's incredible to think that such a small investment could have such a huge payoff. It just goes to show that sometimes, the simplest solutions are the best. Talk about a return on investment. Not only did I save a ton of money, but I also learned a valuable lesson about the importance of every single part in a car. It's a lesson that I'll carry with me in all my future projects. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference. Whether it's a tiny car part or a small act of kindness, never underestimate the impact that something seemingly insignificant can have. In the end, it's the little things that often make the biggest difference. So what exactly does a condenser do? You might have heard about it in passing or seen it mentioned in your car's manual, but its role is often overlooked. Think of it as a pressure valve for your car's electrical system. Just like a pressure valve regulates the flow of fluids, the condenser manages the flow of electricity. It absorbs excess voltage, preventing it from damaging other vital components like the distributor and spark plugs. Without it, your car's electrical system could face serious issues. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a master mechanic overnight. Understanding the basics, however, can make a world of difference. But knowing a few basic maintenance tips can save you a whole lot of trouble and money down the road. Here's a quick rundown. These steps are simple enough for anyone to follow, even if you're not particularly car savvy. Step 1. Locate the condenser. It's usually attached to the distributor or nearby. This is the first and most crucial step. Check your owner's manual for the exact location. The manual is your best friend when it comes to understanding your car's layout. Step 2. Inspect the condenser. Look for signs of damage like cracks, leaks, or corrosion. These are telltale signs that your condenser might be failing. If it looks dodgy, it probably is. Trust your instincts here. Visible damage is a clear indicator that something's wrong. Step 3. Replace if necessary. Replacing a condenser is a relatively simple job. You don't need to be an expert to do this. Disconnect the battery, remove the old condenser, and install the new one. Always ensure the battery is disconnected to avoid any electrical mishaps. Just make sure to get the right type for your car. Condensers come in various shapes and sizes, so double-check compatibility. Step 4. Reconnect and test. Reconnect the battery and start your engine. This is the moment of truth. If everything sounds good, you're good to go. A smooth-running engine is a sign that you've done everything correctly. Remember, regular checkups can prevent minor issues from turning into major headaches. Consistent maintenance is key to a long-lasting vehicle. Just like a bad joke gets worse with each retelling, ignoring car problems only makes them worse and more expensive over time. Here are a few warning signs that your condenser might be on its last legs. Engine misfires. If your engine stutters, hesitates, or backfires, it could be a sign of a faulty condenser. Difficulty starting. A bad condenser can weaken the spark, making it harder to start your engine, especially when it's cold. Dim or flickering headlights. The condenser plays a role in regulating voltage to your electrical system, so flickering lights could be a sign of trouble. Burning smell. A strong burning smell coming from under the hood could indicate an electrical problem, possibly with the condenser. If you notice any of these symptoms, don't ignore them. Get your car checked out by a qualified mechanic as soon as possible. Now I know what you're thinking, who has time for car maintenance? We're all busy people with places to go and people to see. But trust me, a little preventative maintenance goes a long way. Think of it like going to the dentist. Sure, it's not the most exciting way to spend an afternoon, but it's a whole lot better than dealing with a root canal later on. Regular oil changes, tune-ups, and inspections can help identify potential problems before they become major and expensive repairs. Plus, there's a certain satisfaction that comes with knowing how to take care of your own car. It's empowering, it's cost-effective, and it just might save you from a roadside meltdown. This whole condenser saga got me thinking, it's not just about cars, is it? It's about life. Sometimes the smallest, most overlooked things can have the biggest impact. A kind word to a stranger, a helping hand to a neighbor, a simple act of generosity. These things might seem small, but they have the power to change lives. Just like that $8 condenser saved my Corvette, a little bit of effort can go a long way in making the world a better place. So the next time you're tempted to overlook the little things, remember the power of the $8 condenser. Now I'm lucky enough to have a few bucks to spare, but even if I didn't, I'd still rather spend a few minutes under the hood than thousands of dollars at a repair shop. It's not just about the money though, it's about the peace of mind that comes with knowing your car is in tip-top shape. Plus there's a certain pride that comes with being able to fix things yourself. It's a lost art, but it's one worth reviving. So the next time you're tempted to hand your keys and your wallet over to a mechanic, ask yourself, could I tackle this myself? You might be surprised at what you're capable of. And hey, even if you don't succeed, at least you'll have a good story to tell. And that, my friends, is priceless. Look, I'm not saying we should all become expert mechanics overnight, but I do believe that everyone should have a basic understanding of how their car works. It's empowering, it's cost-effective, and it just might save you from a roadside disaster. So share your knowledge, teach your kids how to change a tire, help your neighbor jumpstart their battery, spread the gospel of DIY car maintenance. Because in a world where everything is disposable, there's something deeply satisfying about knowing how to fix things yourself. We live in a world of planned obsolescence. Things are designed to break, forcing us to buy new ones. But, with a little bit of knowledge and a willingness to get our hands dirty, we can outsmart the system. So the next time you're faced with a broken appliance, a malfunctioning gadget, or a sputtering engine, don't give up without a fight. Consult a manual, watch a YouTube tutorial, ask a friend for help. You might just be surprised at what you can achieve with a little bit of ingenuity and a whole lot of elbow grease. And who knows, you might even save yourself a few $1,000s in the process, and that, my friends, is a joke worth telling.